and welcome to All Things Career Services with TNT. I'm Dr. Tracy Spots.
And I'm Tatyana Gause.
And we've got a great one for you today. We've got Steven here. Steven, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Steven, can you explain your role here at BCTC?
Yes. So I am the director of the Center of Excellence for Veteran Student Success, or otherwise known as CEVSS. And we are here to help military and veteran students transition from a military life to an academic life.
Very cool.
So you work closely with veteran students. What unique strengths do veterans bring to the classroom?
Well, veteran students are usually an older population. So, and with their experience in the military, they bring a lot of strengths to the classroom. They bring a varied point of view. They bring a varied experience. They bring leadership. A lot of things that translate or that they learned in the military can translate into the academic life.
So, what challenges do veterans or adult learners face that 18-year-olds may not expect?
Well, being an adult learner and a veteran student, veterans sometimes come in with their own issues from what they experienced in military life. This could be PTSD. This could also, which has a wide range of trigger points. They also are what I would call institutionalized. The longer they stay into the military, they become more regimented. And a lot of times that is one of the issues that they have when they come to academic life, because being so regimented, it takes away from their creativity.
All right, so switching to you, what do you wish someone would have told you before you started your first semester?
Well, so I went to school before my military career, but then after 15 years, I came back. So one of the things I think I wish I'd known was to stay up to date on the technology. So when I left the military, or first time I went to school, we still had dot matrix printers and no one had a laptop. Then coming back in, I had to figure all that out first before I could be successful in my academic career.
How important is it to build relationships with advisors, professors, and campus staff early on?
It's extremely important, especially with military and veteran students, because here, CEVSS, we try to become their point of contact so they do not have to spend time that they could be studying or they could be using a tutor. So they don't have to spend time like running all over campus trying to find resources. So building coming in and seeing us helps them trust us. And then once they trust us, they'll just use us more.
It's true.
So you kind of touched on this a little bit, like you going to college and then coming back after. So if you were starting college again as a veteran or adult learner, what strategies would you use to succeed academically and personally? You mentioned like technology a little bit, but could you expand?
Yeah, so just really, and we see this in a lot of our older veteran students coming in, that the technology gap is quite wide. So basically utilizing YouTube videos to help get attuned to the technology, finding different ways to study. Time management is a big issue because in the military, everything is basically time managed for you. So one of the really good techniques I've learned was the Pomodoro technique. I don't know if you've heard of that. Mm-mm. So it's a focus technique. Basically, you divide everything up into 25-minute blocks, and you set a timer. So you work diligently for 25 minutes. You take a 5-minute break, You do another 25-minute block, and you do that for 4 blocks, and then you take a longer break for like 30 minutes. And I found that works, especially if it's a lot of tedious work I need to do, or, just sitting down and having to really concentrate. That seems to be the most effective for me.
So you talked about time management, but what study habits, strategies should you adopt sooner rather than later?
One of the most important things for me was learning how to take notes and to gather the information. So I can't remember if it's the Harvard or the Columbia. It's either Harvard or Columbia note-taking system. It's very good. It was a way to put information down that you can access and use immediately.
And then staying on the topic of starting over, how would you get more involved on campus?
That's one of the issues not only I had, but we have with our veteran population. Trust is a big issue for veterans, and it's hard to gain trust, but it's also like a vicious circle where you can't gain trust unless you get in and, involved. But without the involvement, you can't gain trust. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's a 2-parter. So we'll start with the first part. What campus resources do students often overlook, especially veterans, that could change their college experience?
I think tutoring is the most important. That is the resource. It's very hard for veteran students to ask for help. I know it's hard for me, so I know it's hard for our students. So we look at, well, I say we, the veteran students look at getting a tutor is asking for help, which it's not. It's just shoring up your weak points of the subject. So tutoring, I would say, is the most important resource that's not utilized.
So how can students start building a support network from day one?
I think from day one, going to the orientation and finding out what resources are here, and just basically meeting us at CEVSS. So like I said, we want to become the point of contact for our veteran students. And, we already know what resources are out there, where they're at, and how to get in touch with them. So, and we're someone, since both me and our dedicated advisor at CEVSS are both veteran students, it's a little easier for them to trust us.
Is there anything you wish you would have understood about internships, networking, and career services sooner?
Yes. So that's one of the things I did not take advantage of when I was going to school. I'm not for sure if it was as robust as it is now with as many internships and, the emphasis that has been put into career services. But I would think that it's the only way to really build experience, especially if you're going into a new field, and also networking.
So last question. What's the biggest lesson you've learned that you'd pass on to any student, traditional or veteran, beginning college today?
The biggest lesson I would say, ask for help before you think you actually need help. And just use the resources that are there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Steven, for being on our podcast today. It was great having you.
It was lovely to be here.
So we are going to take a little hiatus for the holiday season, but we will be back next semester with all things career services. Thank you and happy holidays.